Om Swami.
Welcome. Partaya
Pradibodhita Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratita Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Varshini Bhagavatim Ashtadishadhyayini Ambatva Manusanthatami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini.
See, yesterday I felt at the end of the session we were a bit rushing through the revision. I think I could make out from Gayatriji's anxiety. I feel that now I'll just I was looking at it myself and I thought I will just share something very important for us to proceed further. See, the whole Upadesa, the key, in my understanding, I am just sharing with you, my understanding that the Pratignya statement of the Gita, which starts saying that Brahma Vidya Yoga Shastra, Yoga is the Upaya and Brahma Vidya is the Pratignya. In that context, this Nasato Vidyate Bhavaha Nabhavo Vidyate Sataha. It is a very, very important, these two statements in the Bhagavad Gita. There are three words in that. Nasato Vidyate Bhavaha. Na asataha Vidyate Bhavaha. The Vidyate meaning obtains, or Vidya means understanding. And that is in between the two words. Na asataha bhavaha. Bhava also means isness. Sat also means isness. Now, if the juxtapose nasato vidyate bhavaha, in the second sentence, na bhavo vidyate sataha. So, what it says is the isness or the Satyam it never ceases to exist in your understanding as well as in reality. In the same way, what is not is, what you cannot call is forever, the isness which is not can never be existing. That's also you can know Vidyate. Vidyate is in the in between. Vidyate can mean just Vidyate. Vidyate means available. Or Vidyate is knowable. Vidya means knowledge. Vidyate means knowable or available. It can be either way. But the most important part is Sat can never cease to exist. Asat can never exist in itself. So this is the hallmark of the whole reality of our life. So it makes it, in the sense, that is the opening, in the sense, first Upadesa, the 10-20 verses, Bhagavan has chosen very carefully this sort of a very pithy words, sentences which are very profound, and that too to a person who is looking for shreyas in life, Arjuna, and all of us for that matter. So, this, in the sense, if you look at life that way, that isness which never ceases to exist, there is the changeless and the changing, even though it is available for Vyavahara, for transaction, for our day-to-day life, which anything which we are able to objectify and is available for transaction is not isness. So he has clubbed what is isness is never can be objectified and it never ceases to exist and you cannot see. And what you see is always changing. That is why you are able to see, that is why you are able to transact. Because any transaction means involves change. Then only you will transact. If something is not going to change, why are you going to transact? What way you are interested? So anything that is changing is transactable, and it is never, it is never the truth in its essence, which we are calling it as changeless. So, this he makes it the platform very clear in the beginning itself. And later, next what the important the thing is karma. Karmani karmaya paschet, akarmani cha karmaya. In the sense, karmani akarmaya paschet. In the sense, this in action, if you can look for something actionless, that can be only the changeless reality. Because as I was telling, any action which is involved is transactable, it makes changes. Okay, so if you are looking for actionlessness in action, it has to be Satyam only, which is that na bhavo na abhavos vidyate sataha, that Sat, which is never ceases to exist, which is changeless, can be the only actionless in action. Okay, in action everything changes, but if it has to be something changeless, it has to be actionless. So that is what that Sat only. Sat alone can be actionless in action. So karmani akarmaya paschet and akarmani cha karmaya. In the sense, suppose you are looking at the changing world and you are saying, I am sitting idle, I am not doing anything. Even that is action only, because you are putting yourself in the changing world and say, I am sitting idle. If you say, I am sitting idle in the changing world, it is still action only, because by the definition itself, actionlessness is remaining is in the reality, and it is not transactable, it is not objectifiable. Whereas you are sitting idle in an action-filled world, it can never be called akarma. It is only idleness. So, this actionlessness and action, we have to be very clear. Actionlessness is only in Satyam. And in everything else, where action is change is, it is Vyavahara only. So, that again is made very clear. Karmani akarmaya paschet, akarmani cha karmaya, buddhiman manusyeshu. That is again one important statement. So, in the first 6 chapters like this, as he unfolds, and further he says, when Arjuna asks, it is very obvious that if actionlessness is my reality, and I can as well remain actionless. Why you want me to act? Why you want me to fight this horrible war? He is saying, I like to remain actionless. But he made it very clear that unless you are able to discover actionlessness as your reality in action, you are not ready for it. He says, the fact you are searching for it, you are in a war. If you are already known, actionlessness is your reality, you will not mind fighting this war, because actionlessness can be still in action, because that is your reality. That is taken from the first important pratigya vakya, that nasato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sataha. Anyway, if your reality is actionlessness and in changeless, it is always there. That is your reality. That is not going to change. Whereas, when you are in action, and if you think that you are acting, even if you are remaining idle, you will still be acting. You will be only cursing yourself. So, no point in just stopping action. You are not going to get stressed, if that is what you are interested in. So, he makes it very clear that is not the way to go about. That is why he says, Sanyasastu mahabhago dukkam aptum ayogata. That yoga in action means what? Discovering actionlessness as your reality in action. Even as you are acting, you must be able to stay with your reality as actionlessness, changelessness as the reality. Once you have that reality in your understanding and then your cognition, that vidyate. The vidyate meaning cognition. You must be able to cognize your reality. If you have that cognition, then whether you act or not act, it doesn't matter. Like Summa Irukkum Swamiya Irukku, that in that essence of Gita, Bhagavan Swamiji would have told, Summa Irukkum Swamiya Irukku Rendu Pattai. In the temple, I think I have told that story before. In a temple, there was a Samyar. Samyar meaning a sadhu was there in the temple. By convention, he was there. For a long time, he was there. He used to get some pattai. Pattai meaning that prasadam which they distribute to everyone. So he also used to get. And one smart government officer, HRNC officer came and he wanted to cut down the cost. And he wanted to reduce the pattai for all the people. So whomsoever is getting 4 or 5 pattai, made it 3, 2 like that. And this Samyar was sitting there. He said, no, you are just sitting idle, you are not doing anything. Why I should give you any pattai? So no pattai. He said, okay, if you think that I am sitting idle, come and sit with me for one day. And let us see if you are, if it is such very, sitting idle is so simple, you sit with me, what is the problem? Then next day they planned and everyone was told that this officer will not be available for the day, he will be sitting idle, he will be sitting with me. So they started. After 5 minutes or 10 minutes, this fellow got jittery, the officer got jittery. He found it very difficult for him to sit idle without doing anything. Whereas this Samyar was sitting without any problem. So after 5-10 minutes, he started feeling jittery, he started talking. He said, no, you are told that you will not do anything, you are now very acting. Don't look at the watch and all that, remove the watch and give it to somebody and all that. He started, then after 5-15 minutes or so, the officer realized, my God, it's not easy to remain actionless. Being actionless in the midst of action is very difficult. So it is not, unless you have that vision with you, it's not possible. Maybe he didn't understand that much, but he accepted defeat. So he said, from next day onwards, Summa Irukkum Swamiya Irukku Moonu Pattai. So it's difficult. So increase this quota. So taking that sort of a anecdote Swamiji used to give. Why I am telling is that this yoga in action and the karmani akarmaya pasche, nasato vidyate bhavaha, these are all very, very profound, eye-opening statements in the first 5-6 chapters where Bhagavan is explaining the reality of the human life or any life for that matter is totally totally 360 degrees different from what we perceive as the world. That understanding that has to click in our hearts. That is the objective of the first 6 chapters where it talks about the sense the Tvam Padartha meaning your reality, it tells. And once we know that reality is the changeless and actionlessness is our reality, and if at all any sort of plus minus that happens in the realm of the reality, but it has now connection with the reality. So our reality is actionlessness and always is. If that understanding has to really gel, the 6 chapters which we have gone through, we have to really, in the sense, put it in our hearts. That is why Swamiji is trying to revise now before going into the 8th chapter. But yesterday I felt that we were rushing it through. So I said, okay, I will once again tell what is important about these things. Now let us, but anyway, at the end of it, all of us have to keep that, make it very real for us, livable in our real life, that this actionless, changelessness is our reality, that our full being. Because changelessness and actionlessness can be only in a timeless, changeless, objectless Vastavam. Which is what right now all of us, when we are talking also, we are able to see that. If you are alert to that, we can see, in each one of us we can see what is going on in our mind, what is going on in our body, what is going on in our senses, what is going on in our, whether we are happy about the whole thing or not happy about it. All that we are observing, that observant, that being, that Shakshi is the reality. and it has no coordinates in terms of time, space, vastu and all that. And that alone can be changeless, and that alone is always is. It can never be not is. Whatever is happening in our life, that we have to be alert to that. That reality we have to be alert to that, and that is what in another context Bhagavan Swamiji also says. The lifestyles can be different. Whether it can be an active lifestyle, yoga lifestyle, or a sannyasa lifestyle, but sarva karma sannyasa, meaning this reality understanding, that changelessness, isness, sat, satyam, is your reality. That is sarva, that is referred to in the Gita as sarva karma sannyasa, meaning the reality understanding. Listen, whatever you are doing, karma or not karma, your reality is changeless, actionless. With that understanding, there is no choice. That is the real jnana. By understanding, this karma is kept as something objective. Objective meaning other than me. That way, if you are able to see life as we transact in our day-to-day basis, then you have made it. That is what the final conclusion, and the pratigya statement also. The sat as well as the sarva karma sannyasa are one and the same. That is how he concludes the whole thing. So now the first 6 chapters we have seen. We will see the 5th chapter. We will start reading from it.
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5. Chapter 5.
Chapter 5. Yeah, just that karmani akarmaya pasche we have completed. I have now discussed also. Now get to chapter 5. Yeah.
We are in chapter 5.
No, but we'll do again, probably, like you
We
said.
want to do
Chapter 4. We'll do from chapter 4, Swamiji.
No, I have explained already that part of it. Sarva karma sannyasa I have told, and karmani akarmaya pasche I have told, and Bhagavan himself says, chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasaha tasya kartaram api mam vidhi akartaram abhyayam. He himself has told, like from our telling, he himself told, sarva kartaram api mam vidhi akartaram abhyayam. How he is able to see? Because he is the changeless satyam. He knows very well. That is why in spite of tasya kartaram api mam vidhi akartaram. In spite of all the actions, I am akartaram. Bhagavan says, and you can also say if you understand. That is what he has mentioned already. And later he says, karmani akarmaya paschet akarmani cha karmaya sa buddhiman manusyeshu sa yuktaha Krishna. That he says, sa buddhiman manusyeshu sa yuktaha Krishna karma krita. He is a person who has done all that is to be done in life. Even though he may be not doing anything right now, but he is all what is to be done, he has already done because of his understanding. In his understanding, he knows very well that whatever it is happening in his purview, but he is not involved in anything because he is a changeless. And all changes happen. Like we have told also, only in nirvisesham, all visesham we can observe. We can even right now live our life because basically we are nirvisesham. That is why every moment change in our life we are able to relate to. Otherwise, we have a visesham of our own, we will be colored by that visesham to all that visesham that is happening. Since you are nirvisesham, every moment you are able to see exactly what is happening, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Because you are basically nirvisesham, zero, or the changeless. So that is why you are able to observe all the changing that is happening and quickly respond also. So even for you to do vyavahara, you have to be changeless. Nirvisesham, and that is your reality. Fortunately, that is your reality. That is why you are able to change. Because that is why human being is able to see all the changes that are happening around, respond. In Divi only, that is why we are called Prabhava. Prabhava means Bhagavan is depending on us to keep the creation going. Because we are the only people who can make the changes, we observe the changes because we are changeless. And in reality, once we understand that, we can contribute much better. Once we understand it, we will be totally aligned with Vishwara's. If we don't understand that we are nirvisesham, Then if you are colored, then our Jiva Srishti will interfere with Ishvara Srishti. Then you are likely to make mistakes, then you will be able to, you will have to reap the reward also, plus and minus, whatever it happens. So, the only way for us to ensure that you are aligned with Ishvara Srishti is to understand that I am Nirvisesham. That again, even for you to be aligned with Ishvara Srishti, in Vyavahara, properly, Dharmam and all that, for that you have to understand your reality. So the Nitya Vastu Viveka is very important for you to be a dharmic person also. Otherwise your dharma will be always colored by the thinking what is in it for me. So that is why very important, like our understanding of reality is a must say in life. That we have made it very clear in the first 6 chapters, especially up to 5th. Now 5th we will start. Read, yeah.
Chapter 5, after talking about Jnana Karma Sannyasa, renunciation of action through knowledge, Krishna talked about sannyasa again. Jnaneya sa nitya.
No. Neha sa nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na
Sannyasi yo na dveshti na kangsati.
Kamshati, yeah.
Kangsati. He is to be known as always sannyasi who is neither aversion nor longing.
Yeah.
Gita 5.3, 5.5, 5.6, 5.7.
No, it's only 5.3.
Only 5.3. Only 5.3.
Ekam
5.3 is what? 1 minute. 5.3 is what? We will see that. Yeah, basically that Neha sa nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kamshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. In the sense, nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. He completes that verse saying that nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. Nirdvandvo meaning, we always say, even in Tamil we say, duvidale irkade, always idva irkade. We always tell, be clear, be firm, your understanding. In any situation, that is called nirdvandvo. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. Don't be confused. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. If you are clear of this dvandva, always confused state, if you are clear, then sukham bandhat pramuchyate. You will be bandhat pramuchyate, meaning you will be free of this bound, like you are a bound person, you are a captive. You are captive of your whims and fancies, we say, no? We say you are buried in your whims and fancies. You really don't know what is right, what is wrong. Because you are so much captivated by your whims and fancies, your likes and dislikes, which he has made it very clear. Nyeyaha sas nitya sannyasi yona dveshti na kamshati. The first sentence, yeah.
Ekam sankyam yogam yaha pashyati sa pashyati. The one who sees, right?
Pashyati, this pashyati is a very important word in Vedanta. I tell you, pashyati means seeing things as clear as eyesight. Pashyati means, literal meaning is seeing. But, ya pashyati, sa pashyati, when they say in Bhagavan, when he says, what he means is, you must be able to see life as clearly what your eyesight sees, without any confusion. Like your eye witness, how if you sees an apple, it sees an apple. Okay, we are not talking about a cataracted eye or something like that. Clear eye. When a clear eye sees something, it sees properly. In the same way, you must be able to see life, understand life properly. That is called ya pashyati sa pashyati. That is why that ya pashyati sa pashyati will keep coming. You have to understand the tatparyam behind it. That's why I am telling. Yeah.
The one who sees knowledge and karma yoga as the same, he sees.
He sees. So he sees means the 5.5, what he says. 5.5. 1 minute. 5.5 we will see what is it.
Can I read?
Yeah, 5.5 is
Yet sankhe yoge ravi kamyate. Yet sankyam te yogam cha ya pashyati sa pashyati.
Correct. See, Sankhehi prapyate sthanam Tad yogaihi api gamyate, meaning sankhehi, meaning a person who understands this reality. A person who understands this reality is the goal. And the yogaihi api gamyate, meaning a person who is given to karma yoga, who is making himself ready for that knowledge by proper attitude, proper living, ensuring that at any point in time he doesn't get overwhelmed by anger or intense pleasures and all that. Who is able to develop it as an attitude. Yoga is an attitude. Wherein I have always been telling you, wherein getting the infrastructure where you are able to sit and study. Whatever you are doing in your life, every day, whatever you need to do for getting your activities together, quickly keep doing. You must be able to sit and study, sit and do meditation. Come to your basic. I used to tell your the work-life balance. This is life. The sense you are understanding is life. Everything else is work. Whether it is Vaidika or Laukika. Whether it is Vaidika or Laukika is work. Life is this understanding. So, for getting that infrastructure ready, yogaihi api gamyate. That is why he says, yogaihi api gamyate. A person given to karma yoga will also reach whom? Yet samkhehi prapyate. A person with understanding, how he is able to remain in that understanding, the yoga person also can reach there by getting the infrastructure ready mentally and by studying the scriptures and understanding the reality. So, yet sankhehi prapyate sthanam tat yogaihi api gamyate. Ekam sankyam. Once you do that, the yogi as well as the jnani are one and the same. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. Yeah, both of them, ya pasyati sa pasyati. Both of them see their life clearly. So there is no confusion. That is what he says in 5.5. That is what he is referred to as he sees. Just one word he uses, sees. And he quotes the entire verse. Sees means seeing things clearly in life. That's what it is. Yeah.
Sanyasastu mahabaho dukkam aptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma chirena adhigachati.
Yeah, and here also it is the same thing. In the sense, what Mahabhava means, he says, Bhagavan says to Arjuna that if you are not ready for it, if you straight away start sitting and studying and meditation, you will not be able to make it because you are not yet ready for it. Yoga Yukta, only a Yoga Yukta can get to that level of infrastructure where he can sit and study and you will get it fast. Once you have developed yoga, Muni Brahma, na chirenadi gachadi, meaning not in a distant future. Very immediately, once you have the yogi attitude, in the sense, once you have that karma yoga buddhi, once you live life like that, you will be able to sit and study. It's not a big deal. Na chirenadi gachadi, meaning you will get it fast. You don't have to wait for too long. Don't worry that when I will complete karma yoga and then come to jnanam and all, don't have to think that way. It's all can be done simultaneously. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Sannyasa, okay.
Like this.
Renunciation of action, Arjuna, the mighty arm, is difficult to accomplish without karma yoga. Whereas one who is committed to a life of karma yoga and is capable of reasoning gains Brahman quickly. Gita 5.6.
5.6.
Sannyasa.
That's படிச்சேன்.
Padicham, Sanyasastu Mahabhava, that we have just quoted.
அதான் படிச்சோம்.
Dukkam aptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenadi gachati. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
By these words.
By these words, Bhagavan shows the nature of knowledge in the 5th chapter. Gaining this knowledge, one becomes sannyasi, and in order to gain it, one takes to a life of sannyasa. The nature of knowledge was again pointed out by the word sannyasa, and so the chapter was called Sannyasa Yoga. Again, for whom was this pointed out? For the jiva. There, Tvam Pada Artha.
Tvam Pada Artha. Yeah. Tvam Pada Artha meaning what? You. Just
Tvam
you.
Pada Artha.
Pada Artha meaning you. If you meaning, every one of us can tell you. It's all I. Basically I. Tvam Pada Artha is I. My reality. Yeah.
The nature of Atma was talked about only for the Jiva, Tad Buddhayaha, Tadatmanaha, Tadatmanaha, Tan Nishtaha, Tat Parayanaha, Gachanti Apunara Vrittin, Jnanam Nirduta Kalmashaha.
Yeah, basically the Jiva is given so many names. Tat Buddhayaha, Tat Atmanaha, Tan Nishtaha, Tat Parayanaha. All are referring to the Jiva only. Jiva means you and me. A person who is very clear in his buddhi about the knowledge of Atma and he is able to stay there, Nishtaha, Tat Parayanaha, in the sense he is able to study and assimilate as he studies. What we are doing right now. He is referring to all of us as we are doing it right now. Tad buddhayaha, tat atmanaha, atmanaha, tat nishtaha, tan parayanaha, gachanti apunarabhrittim jnana nirduta kalmashaha. Since beautifully he mentioned, see, gachanti apunarabhrittim, meaning generally we will say moksha. We don't come back in life and all that. But he is qualifying saying jnana Nirudhuta Kalmashaha, meaning Kalmasham meaning impurities. Okay, typical word meaning is impurities. Nirudhuta Kalmashaha meaning not contaminated with any impurities. That is called Punaravrittim. Since Na Punaravrittim, it is not that okay, once you die you will not come back to life, you will not come back to samsara. Samsara is a what do you call it? It is a purushartha, it is a romantic idea of what is moksha and all that. But the reality, the meaning is jnana nirduta kalmashaha. Being a person with clarity and understanding about your reality. That you can do it right now. We don't have to wait for moksha or we don't have to die and become mukta. We can become Jivan Mukta here and now if you have that understanding. That is why he says Apunara Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha. He is qualifying the word Apunara as Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha. Even in Dakshinamurti Stotram, third Stotram, it will come like that only. What is it? Third Stotra is Vishwantarpana.
Yaseva Spurana, third.
Yaseva Spuranas, say, Yaseva
Asade, Sakshat Tattva.
Sadatmakam Asad Kalpartakam Vasate, Sakshat Tattvamasidi Veda Vachana, Yo Bodeti Yat Asritan, Tat Na Bhave Punaravritti. Bhave Na Punaravritti. Meaning, from that moment onwards, you will not be confused. Na bhaved. Bhaved meaning in the present tense. It is not in the future. Na bhaved. Once you understand that your reality is sadatmakam asat kalpartakam vasate. Meaning, you, the reality, your real being is the one, the asat kalpartakam vasate. Meaning, the entire creation of activities, the world, Vyavahara, life is lit up by Sadatmakam, by Atma, by your being only, which I was telling. The Nirvishesha alone is able to make all life possible. All Visheshas and activities are possible only because of your essential reality being Nirvishesha. Sadatmakam Asat Kalparthagam Pasate. Asat Kalparthagam meaning it makes everything possible. Kalparthagam meaning it makes everything possible. It goes. Gam means goes. Asat Kalparthagam Pasate meaning it Basate meaning it lights up. All activities it lights up. Like even a lighted screen, which I have given the example. Lighted screen alone makes story possible on the movie. Without that lighted screen, which you take it for granted, no movie is possible. That lighted screen is you. Because of you only the whole Vyavahara is possible. So, Sadatmakam Asat Kalpartakam Vasate. Once you are understanding in that is very clear, then Bhaved, from that Kshanam onwards, Bhaved, Na Punaravrittim. Thereafter, you will have no confusion about life, then moksha, here and now moksha. That is what he says. Gachanti apunaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Here, in this verse he says that it is something similar to what Dakshinamurti Stotram says. So, very consistent, the whole Shastra is very consistent in its narrative. That's what I wanted to bring out. Yeah.
Those whose is awake to that Brahman, for whom the self is that Brahman, who are committed only to that Brahman, for whom the ultimate end is that Brahman which is already accomplished, whose impurities have been destroyed by knowledge, they attain a state from which there is no return.
Yeah, exactly. This is right now. If our understanding is clear, we arrive at that where there is no return. From now on, we are Chiranjeevi or Jivan Mukti, whatever fancy name you want to call yourself, you can call yourself. Yeah.
5.17.
Yeah, okay, we have read that. Come.
Yeah. These are then the nature of Pragyatma.
Pratyekatma means each one of us. Pratyak means each one of us. Each one of our Atma is the same. There is no difference. That's what he says. Yeah.
Chapter 6. In this chapter, the main topic is dhyana, contemplation, in which Krishna tells how to sit, what exactly should one do, and what kind of a lifestyle should one live, and so on. He says, Atma samstam manaha kritva na kinchitapi chintayet. Making the mind abide in the self, may one not think of anything else. Gita 6.17.
6.25.
6.17. Padikema, this reading.
Yes.
6.25.
117.
6.17. Yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapna avabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. In the sense, the gist of it is, if you yukta ahara viharaha, meaning if you have a proper midamana food, not empty stomach or not heavy stomach, proper food and mindful of movements, be alert, the mindfulness, be alert in your vihara meaning.
Swamiji, 1 minute, it is actually 25th. The footnote says 10, which is 6.25.
Oh, 6.25. Okay.
Please.
Wait, 6.17 also comes later. We'll see that at that time.
That comes next.
Yeah. Next.
Shanai Ruparamet Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya Atma Samstam Manakritva Na Kinchitapi Chintayet.
1 minute. 6.110, the previous
6.25 Atma Samstam Manakritva Na Kinchitapi Chintayet.
Yeah, okay.
Shanai Uparamet Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya.
1 minute. 6.25.
25, yeah. 25th verse. 6th chapter.
Okay, yeah. First sentence is Sanai Uparame Buddhya and Atma Samstam Manakritva Nakkichetavi Chintaye. That is basically Atma Samstam Manakritva will be quoted throughout Gita. It will be quoted. Very famous statement it is. Atma Samstam Manakritva, remaining in Atma and Nakkinchitavi Chintaye. That is Dhyanam. Basically that is Dhyanam. And what he says is Sanai Uparame, meaning don't try to rush yourself. Do it slowly and steadily. And Buddhya, Dhriti, both Dhriti as well as Grihita, both are important. Dhriti meaning firmness, Dradamana. You should not get disheartened by your mind moving away from your Dhyanam. You should not feel disheartened. What my mind is restless, not fit for Dhyanam. No. Dhyanam itself, it defines saying that a mind which goes away, bringing it back. That is called Dhyanam. So that the mind goes away is no big deal. It will go away. You have to bring it back to the focus of Dhyanam. That is why we take a mantra or a particular pratima, keep that in view and bring it back to that. So, Dhriti Grihitaya, Vidya Dhriti Grihitaya, Sanai Sanai Uparame. Do it slowly, steadily, you will be able to do it. Maybe initially, first session, second session, you won't be able to do it. Third session, you will be able to do it. There again, first 10 minutes you will not be able to do, last 10 minutes you will get distracted. In between 10 minutes you will do. That 10 minutes you capture and try to live it more often. That is called Dhyanam. And Atma Samstam Manakritva Nakinchitavi Chintaye, that is the real Dhyanam. That is what he is saying that. Yeah.
He also says, Yukta Ahara Viharasya, Yukta Chetasya Karmasu, Yukta Swapna Avabodhasya, Yogo Bhavati Dukkaha.
Yeah, that is that 6.17, right?
Yeah, 17, yes.
Yeah. And basically, again, it helps how to go about the proper food, mindfulness, all those things are minimum requirement for even before sitting in meditation. For you to have a meditative circumstances, you need, as I was telling, you should not be conscious of your body. The body should not be telling you, asking for your attention. That level of body you must have. You don't have to be a pailwan or you don't have to have great biceps and all that. But you should not have any upadhi meaning you should not be disturbed. For the period of meditation, the body should not call for your attention. That much of that is possible if you do normal food, good sleep, and mindful, not unnecessary chesta, keep on shaking the leg, keep on shaking the hand and all. That sort of a fidgety movement should not be there. These things you should avoid, minimum things. If you are able to sit, that is why Sthira Sukha Asanam is being told as part of the meditation is, you must be able to sit in slightly, a little bit of discomfort will be there, but you must be able to sit in the discomfort for the 10-15 minutes. You know that it's a bit tough, like Padmasanam, Ardha Padmasanam, whatever you call it. Slight pain will be there in the knee or in the calf muscle and all that. You must be alert to that. Nothing wrong with that. Be alert to that, just stay with the pain for the 10-15 minutes. No problem. And so that you will be alert. But at the same time, it should not, it should not disturb you. That much of and you must be able to stay during the course of that meditation with that minimum discomfort, alert mind, and one position. Then you will be able to do the meditation. That is called Yukta Ahara Vikarasya, Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu. Yeah. And then what he says, he actually says appropriate action, Zen-like, Buddhist Zen. Sleep and waking hours of appropriate quality and time. Yukta Swapna Avabodhasya, meaning your sleep also, you should have reasonably good sleep before, otherwise while meditating you will go to sleep. So, Yogo Bhavati Dukkaha, that's what he has mentioned. Okay, yeah.
For one who is moderate in eating and other activities, who is mindful in all activities, and to one sleeping and waking hours, for such a person, meditation becomes the destroyer of sorrow. Thus, Krishna talked about what is necessary for a contemplative life, including the emotional life and attitudes that constitute yoga, a mature lifestyle. The chapter ended with dhyana, contemplation of Pratyagatma. In the contemplation, even though he mainly talked about Pratyagatma, he also brought in Ishvara when he said Mat Chitta Yukta Asita Mat Paraha and so on.
Yeah.
In 6th chapter,
he has told also very clearly in the sense, even though he has not talked about Ishvara, what he says, unless that Ishvara, like in the Karma Yoga also, Ishvara Arpana, that is why Swamiji always used to say, is just simple seva, is not Karma Yoga. Seva with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Sense, you must have that Ishvara Pranidhanam, meaning a sense of surrender that all forces that are, the whole life is one unison acting in Ishvara. If you are not able, still not ready for the jnanam because you are still studying, actually if you have the jnanam, that understanding that everything is happening in me, the nirvishesha surupa, which we have talked about. Where that understanding is well, that is understanding is Ishvara understanding only, there is no difference. But otherwise also, if you are able to have that Ishvara concept of Ishvara, that everything is Ishvara, all that is here is Ishvara, if in that surrender, if you are able to do the any work, whatever activity, like karmanyeva adhikara hate, mahapaleshu kadachana, even there, karmanyeva adhikara hate, what it means is that if whatever I do, I will do with surrender to Ishvara, do my best. Do my best in the sense, I know that any action is inherent, some prayojanam will always be there. Like when I talk, my talk should reach you. When you talk, your talk should reach me. That much minimum expectation every one of us have. That is called prayojanam. That we must be alert to. The prayojanam meaning prayoga, no? Prayoga means in puja also, prayoga means what? What we do in the puja. Whatever puja we do, prayer we do, it has got prayojanam immediately because prayojanam itself is the surrendering in willfully you are praying to the Ishvara. The prayer itself is the prayojanam. What happens in the afterwards because of the prayer, whether I get my promotion or not, it's a different thing. That is result. That comes much later. That is called palam. That palam we are not bothered. We are bothered about I am able to pray. I am supposed to pray to Ishvara for the goodness of myself or the family or the world around. That prayer I have done. So that prayojanam is already there. Bhakti is already expressed in the prayer. That is called prayojanam. So, prayojanam vina mandopi na pravartate. There is one statement. Even a dull-headed fellow, without prayojanam, he will not do any action. Why? Because prayojanam is pratyaksham, you can see it in front of you. That alone, and that alone is in your hand. Karmanyeva adhikara hate, that famous statement of yoga, karma yoga. Karmanyeva adhikara hate meaning what? Your prayojanam, you are aware of, and you are doing that karma with the surrender to Ishvara. That is all. And mahapaleshu kadachana, because phala is again karma phala, data is Ishvara. He will give whatever is fit for me, whatever is fitting the circumstances, what is good for the world, he will do. That is his prerogative. I will not get involved in that. I will do whatever I can do in the present, keeping myself alert. That is also yoga. Keeping myself alert, being in the present and doing my best to that extent I understand is yoga. Karmanyeva adhikara hate is yoga. And without expecting, without putting too much of focus on my phala, ma paleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala hetu bhu. Never take responsibility for the phala that is going to come later. That is not your responsibility. That is the responsibility of karma phala data. Don't get into that. Karmanyeva adhikara hate. Then it becomes yoga. That also, the sense that keeps you in the presence. As I was always telling you, being in the presence is being with Ishvara, being with reality. Because presence is the only reality. Past and future is basically you are connecting through your mind, your memory, like your movie. Whereas the present is the only reality. So, by being in the present, you are in tune with your reality, you are in tune with Atma. That is also yoga. Whatever you do, you will do it properly. So, in all ways, it gets connected. Yoga, jnanam and understanding reality gets connected. But if you look at it, all that in conjunction. That is why yoga, that's why he says, a person with yoga will get this understanding very easily, very soon, if not today, tomorrow. So, your life, you live as yoga, and then your mind will be ready for studying this, understanding this, then you will get the jnanam also. So, yoga and jnanam goes together. That is what is the tatparya of the first 6 chapters. Yeah.
Thus Krishna in these
Yeah, correct. Thus Krishna talks about what is necessary for a contemplative life. Yeah. Including an emotional life.
The chapter ended with dhyana, contemplation of Pratyagatma. In the contemplation, even though he mainly talked about Pratyagatma, he also brought in Ishvara when he said, Mat chitta yukta asita mat paraha, and so on. In these 6 chapters, the Jiva was presented as the seeker, the one who has to undergo changes. And it is the Jiva whose Atma was presented there mainly. This is Tvam-pada Vichara, inquiry into the Tvam-pada. Then, from chapter 7 onwards, the whole teaching and the approach is different because the inquiry into Ishvara, the Tatpada, begins and is discussed primarily. Inquiry into Tatpada begins. Summary of chapter 7. Here we shall briefly see the meaning of each verse of the 7th chapter. Verse 1. First verse begins with Mai Asakta Manaha Partha. Mai Asakta Mana Partha Yogam Yujjanmadashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yathajnasasi Takshunu. The first verse begins with Mai Asakta Manaha. Mai means in me, Ishvara. So in the very first verse, Ishvara is brought in. He says, Partha Arjuna, with a mind committed to me by taking to yoga and having surrendered to me, please listen to the way in which you will know me totally without any doubt. Verse 2, this verse he says, I will teach you without any omission. Swamiji, you want to repeat the verse?
Yeah. Yes, you can read.
Jnanam deham savijnanam idam vakshyami aseshataha yat jnatva neha bhuyoho. What do you
Bhuyo anyaha. Bhuyo anyat jnatavyam avasishyate. Yeah.
Jnatavyam avasishyate. This verse he says, I will teach you without any omission this knowledge along with immediate knowledge, knowing which there remains nothing else to be known here. Whatever paroksha, indirect knowledge you have, because Ishvara is involved here, I am going to convert it into aparoksha, immediate knowledge. We saw how Krishna presents this knowledge in paroksha and also in aparoksha form. Once this is known, there is nothing else to be known. Verse 3.
See here 1 minute. In the sense, what he says is, whatever you have learnt in the first 6 chapters, the Vijnana Sahitam, Swa Anubhava Samyuktam. The sense that the Pashyati we said, no, that you will be able to see in this 7th chapter how that and my Swarupa, that is Ishvara Swarupam, are one and the same. You will be able to see that clearly. Vijnana Sahitam Swa Anubhava Samyuktam. You will be able to see that. That is what Bhashyakara says as an explanation for this verse. It says that you will knowledge imbued by direct vision, you will be able to see the Ishvara's reality and my reality being one and the same. That is what he says. Yeah.
Our uncle can read if you want. Reading. Our uncle can.
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः.
Verse 3, to encourage Arjuna, Krishna says, among thousands of people, a rare person makes effort for moksha. Even among those seekers making effort, only a rare person comes to know me in reality.
Yeah, it's meant for all of us. We are all very fortunate people. That's what Bhagavan says. Yeah.
Bhumi ravo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyam me binna prakriti rashtata.
Here Krishna began talking about what he had promised. He divides everything into para and apara prakriti and begins with apara, describing the eightfold prakriti. Verses 5 and 6.
One minute. Let me see whether I have got something to say on this.
5 and 6.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि बेपरां जीवभूतां महाबाहो येदं धार्यते जगत् एतद्योनिति भूतानि सर्वाणि द्युतधारय अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभव प्रलयस्तथा
7.4.
5 and 6. 5 and 6.
5 and 6, 1 minute.
5 and 6.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
You see.
I'm just seeing whether anything I can to highlight. That's what I'm trying to say. See, says this the eightfold Prakriti, Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti, he says, Bhashyakara says, just as a Visha Samyukta Annam is Visham, Ahankara Samyukta Abhyaktam is Ahankara. He says, once, like even though all the Panchabhutas are the same, okay, inside, outside elements, Bhagavan and all that, then, but everything is, but in our case, what happens for the Jiva, a small bit of Visham gets added to the whole thing. That is the Ahankara, that is ignorance. Even the small Visham is enough to contaminate the whole Prakriti. So, even though Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti are one and the same, it is Bhagavan only, that the Apara Prakriti, we make it Visham by contaminating it with Ahankara. Bhashyakara says that. So, just as Visha Samyukta Annam is Visham, Evam Ahankara Samyukta Abhyaktam Ahankara. So, we are driven by Ahankara is our Ahankara Eva Sarvasya Pravritti Bija. All our Pravritti, the whole Apara Prakriti, our life is contaminated with Ahankara. And that is why we do Punyam, Papam and all that. Because basically what it means is that we take ourselves away from the reality. The reality, once we have taken it away, it is a question of, what you call, Swamiji used to say, if you lose the infinity, infinity is your loss. If you lose the infinity, infinity is your loss. So, it is not a question of just, I have lost just. No, once you lose the infinite, your infinite is your loss. So, once your reality is taken away from this Nirvishesha Atma to Ahankara, you have lost the game. So, now all our efforts are to regain that reality. All our efforts of life, our life, yoga and study and upasana and your bhakti, everything is to get back to our reality. Just imagine, what is, we have lost, now we are trying to work so hard to get back to our reality. That is, that much of contamination, ahankara, the body mind identification can do, because the Prakriti is the same. The Panchabhuta is the same outside the trees also, but the trees are nice. Whether they are cut or whether they are not cut, even I was just saying, even if you cut the top branches, the bottom branches come out with nice fresh leaves next day. How come? It is not bothered when my top is cut and all that. Whereas we are a small disturbance in our life, we ruin ourselves and ruin others' happiness also. So that much of we can, the Srishti is beautiful in all its aspects. Because of our identification with our body and mind, it becomes a Visham. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah.
We'll stop with this. We'll stop with this.
Yeah. So verse 4 you have to start with.
Verse 5.
Verse 5 and 6 you have to start with. Okay.
Verse 7 we will start. Verse 7.
Yeah, Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti we have told. Okay. Verse 7 we will start with. Okay. Hopefully we will be able to move fast.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते